It's 6:53 in the morning. You're awake, again, just minutes before your alarm goes off. Not because you're energized. Not because you're excited. But because your body already knows what's coming. Another day. Same routine. Same cycle. You roll over, grab your phone, and for a few seconds, you just stare at the screen. There's this quiet thought in the back of your mind you try to ignore. Is this really it? You've been doing everything right. You went to school. You got the degree. You landed the job. You earn more than your parents ever did. From the outside, it looks like you made it. But deep down, it doesn't feel like success. It feels like survival. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That feeling isn't random. It's not bad luck. It's not even your fault. It's the system working exactly the way it was designed to. Let me show you how. Meet Jake. Jake is 32 years old, lives in a decent apartment, and earns about $82,000 a year. On paper, he's doing great. Statistically, he's ahead of most people his age. He should feel secure. He should feel ahead. But he doesn't. Every 2 weeks, Jake gets paid. His gross paycheck looks solid. But by the time taxes hit, what lands in his account is around $2,300. Now here's where things start to get interesting. Because Jake never actually gets to use that money. Not really. Before he even thinks about saving or investing, his money is already spoken for. Rent? $1,250. Groceries, takeout, random food runs? About $450. Car payment, insurance, gas? Another $600. Subscriptions, phone bill, internet? $150. Utilities? Around $130. Add it all up, and Jake has already committed nearly everything he earned. What's left? Maybe $1.50, if nothing unexpected happens. For 2 entire weeks. But here's the part that makes this system so powerful. Jake doesn't feel broke. He has a car. He has a place to live. He can order food when he's tired. He can scroll, stream, and stay entertained. From the outside, his life looks comfortable. And that comfort is the trap. Because the system doesn't need you to feel poor. It just needs you to feel okay enough to not question anything. This is the first layer of the salary trap. Money comes in as one clean number. And disappears in dozens of small, invisible pieces. Your brain never processes the full loss. It never hits you all at once. So instead of realizing you're stuck, you just keep going. Paycheck to paycheck. Month after month. Year after year. You're not building wealth. You're maintaining a lifestyle. And there's a huge difference. Now let's go deeper. Because this is where the trap tightens. Jake gets a raise. He moves from $82,000 to $95,000. At first, it feels incredible. More money. More breathing room. More freedom. But within a few months, something shifts. He upgrades his apartment. Nothing crazy. Just a little nicer. Rent jumps from $1,250 to $1,600. They feel like progress. Like reward. Like success. But together, they create something dangerous. Because now, Jake doesn't just want his job. He needs it. Every dollar he earns is already assigned a role. Every expense depends on that paycheck showing up on time. He didn't notice it happening. But he just traded flexibility for comfort. This is what most people never realize. Every increase in income often comes with an even faster increase in obligations. And once your lifestyle expands, it almost never shrinks back down. You adapt upward, permanently. Now think about this. If Jake decided to quit his job tomorrow, how long could he last? A month? Maybe 2. That's not freedom. That's dependency. And it's incredibly common. People think higher income equals more control. But in reality, it often just means higher pressure. Because now there's more to lose. More bills. More expectations. More responsibility. And less room to breathe. This is how the system keeps you in place. Not through force, but through comfort. Not through restriction, but through expansion. It gives you just enough to feel successful, while quietly making sure you never escape. But now here's where the trap becomes almost invisible. Because at this stage, it doesn't feel like you're being controlled. It feels like you're winning. You're earning more. Living better. Upgrading your life step by step. But underneath all of that progress, something else is happening. Something most people never stop to question. You're becoming dependent. Let me introduce you to someone else. His name is Marcus. Marcus works in tech. Smart guy. Driven. Focused. By 35, he's making over $120,000 a year. Nice house in the suburbs. 2 cars in the driveway. Kids in a good private school. From the outside, Marcus looks like the definition of success. But there's something you don't see. Every single month, almost every dollar Marcus earns is already committed. Mortgage. Car payments. Insurance. School fees. Utilities. Subscriptions. Daily expenses. It all adds up. And what's left? Not much. Now here's the scary part. Marcus has thought about quitting his job. More than once, starting something of his own. Taking a break. Trying a different path. But every time that thought comes up, it gets shut down immediately. Not by fear of failure, but by reality. Because the moment he stops earning, everything collapses. The house, the cars, the lifestyle. All of it depends on one thing. That paycheck continuing. This is what people call golden handcuffs. They look expensive. They feel comfortable. But they still lock you in place. And the system doesn't force you into them. That's what makes it so powerful. It simply offers you upgrades, a better house, a nicer car, a more convenient life. And slowly, you build a life that costs too much to escape. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The system doesn't need you to stay poor. It just needs you to stay dependent. Because a dependent person is predictable. You show up every day. You work harder. You tolerate stress. You avoid risks. Because you have no choice. Your income isn't building freedom. It's maintaining obligations. And once you see that, everything starts to change. Because the real problem was never your salary. It was what happens to your money after you earn it. Let's break this illusion completely. There are people making $40,000 a year who are quietly building wealth. And there are people making $400,000 a year who are completely stuck. Why? Because income is not the same as wealth. Income is temporary. It only exists as long as you keep working. Wealth is what stays, even when you stop. And the difference between the two comes down to one thing. The gap between what you earn and what you spend. If that gap is small, you're stuck, no matter how high your salary is. If that gap is large, you're free, even if your income isn't massive. But the system is designed to shrink that gap as much as possible. Every raise, every upgrade, every reward lifestyle change quietly eats away at it until there's nothing left. And when there's no gap, there's no freedom. So the real question isn't, how do I earn more? It's, how do I keep more? And more importantly, how do I turn what I keep into something that works for me? Because that's the only way out. Not more effort. Not more hours. Not another promotion. But a shift in direction. Instead of using money to upgrade your life, you start using money to build assets. Things that pay you back. Things that grow over time. Things that don't require your constant attention. And at first, it feels slow. It feels like you're falling behind. Because everyone around you is upgrading. And you're holding back. But over time, something powerful starts to happen. Your expenses stay controlled. Your savings start stacking. Your investments begin to grow. And most importantly, your dependence starts to break. You don't need every paycheck anymore. You're not stressed about missing one. You're not forced to tolerate things you hate. You gain something most people never experience. Optionality. The ability to choose. To walk away. To take risks. To think long term. And that changes everything. Because freedom isn't about having more stuff. It's about needing less from the system. Let me ask you something honestly. If your income stopped today, how long could you last? 1 month? 2 months? 3? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, good. Because that discomfort is awareness. And awareness is where everything starts. The salary trap only works as long as you don't see it. The moment you recognize it, you start thinking differently. You stop chasing income blindly. You start protecting the gap. You start building something real. And slowly, you step out of the cycle, not overnight, not instantly, but deliberately. Because the goal was never just to earn money. The goal was freedom. And the moment you no longer need your paycheck, that's the moment you finally have it.